Back in 2009, while I was singing arias, conducting choirs, teaching undergrads, wiping noses, and polishing door handles in an effort to get a master's degree, I was introduced to two internet phenomenons that would significantly influence my thinking. The first was introduced to me by my roommate, who found time between saving baby kittens under the sink and locking himself in his room for days on end with MMORPGs and enough junk food to stock the set of a Mr. EBT music video to show me Zero Punctuation, a video series by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. The series is devoted to crushing the hopes and dreams of video game developers around the world by crudely, deliberately, intelligently, and hilariously analyzing and completely disemboweling the most influential video games released each year. The second was introduced to me by a music professor at my university who could play the guitar like a rock mahogany god and who had more knowledge of current events and economic policy in his left foot than the average Washington, D.C. Denny's has under the roof on Double Pancake Tuesday. He very rock godfully handed me a copy of The Obama Deception, a film made by author, philosopher, and media personality Alex Jones. It calmly lays out the political, financial, and humanitarian apocalypse that is quickly approaching all nations while you totally freak out and hide under your bed for the next 5 days until your roommate breaks the door down and makes you take a shower. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Yahtzee is known for his quick-witted analogies and his ability to nitpick the smallest aspects of video games while at the same time leaving you wondering if he actually liked the game or not. His humor is less Patrick Swayze's dancing dirty and more what is this stuff flying off the fan and smacking me in the face dirty, and his ability to offend compared to other gaming critics is like comparing Bill O'Reilly to a tree stump. I found myself wondering, what is it I like about this guy? Sure, he's funny and witty, and he's not above comparing Dick Cheney to the Antichrist, but he's vulgar and grumpy, and let's face it, I'm about a decade off of his target age demographic. Then the truth hit me like a ton of bricks. I like this guy because he's consistent. He believes in something and I value that. He's trying to make a difference in the gaming industry by pointing out elements of gaming that other critics simply won't touch. For example, how video games should be taken seriously as an art form, or how reality-based shooters are based less on reality and more on training impressionable young teenage boys to develop a bloodlust for people they watched the newest episode of the Homeland Security Propaganda Hour. While other gaming critics are bowing down to developers in an attempt to legitimize themselves, Yahtzee sits comfortably on top of his massive fan base that either loves to hate him or is not an idiot. That brings us to Alex Jones and the Infowar, the name for the battle for knowledge in the minds of the public between the alternative media and what I lovingly call the slimeball, prostitute, lying, complete sellout, whore, dinosaur, corporate, globalist, establishment, eugenic, loving, human killing, and every other thing that everyone ever hates ever media, who from here on out will be referred to as the anti-media. Contrary to its name, the Obama Deception was not primarily about Obama. It was about how Obama and many of the presidents before him are like little marionette puppets that we all get to throw tomatoes and tomahawks at while the real globalist planners sit in the wings and laugh all the way to the bank. It exposes the Federal Reserve and how their complete power over the US money supply is not only destroying your hard-earned purchasing power, but it is used in our names to fund the deaths of millions of people and a world government that is full of roses and gumdrops. Oh wait, did I say roses and gumdrops? I meant disease and poverty. But after I first saw the movie and crawled out from under my bed, I thought to myself, wait a minute, I felt the same way after I watched Bowling for Columbine, and that turned out to be an exploitation of a horrible situation to convince Americans that guns are bad, and to buy Michael Moore another diamond-encrusted girdle. Ha! You got me good, Alex Jones. You know what? I'm gonna check out what you said and prove you wrong. Holy sh**. The question I had to ask myself when I had Jones under the microscope was, why are others always trying to discredit this guy? Like a good little public school generated thinker, I began by trying to classify him as a Republican or a Democrat, and that didn't work because he viciously goes after both sets of leaders and consistently points out how their agendas are one and the same. Then I tried to classify him as a nutjob for all of his wacky conspiracy theories, and that didn't work because I actually took the time to check out the information he was citing from official government documents and white papers and realized you'd have to be a fluoride-guzzling crumb bum to never question government morality or reliability. Then I tried to classify him as a bitter, mean-spirited person who can't really have my loved one's best interests at heart, and that didn't work because as I discovered and pieced together the elements of global government, I found myself getting even more upset than he was. Sure, he rants like a slobbering pig and can be more offensive than Sacha Baron Cohen at a Cherry County church potluck and bake sale, but he believes in his mission and doesn't pull his punches on anyone. Once again, the key word here is consistency. Jones has been making the same hoarse-throated, sleep-deprived rant for over 15 years and has a lineup of videos and over 10 to 15 million listeners a week to prove it. If 10% of the stuff Alex Jones said was a lie, he would easily be in jail for defamation of character and slander. And if 10% of what he says is true, then we should all be in the streets waving banners and screaming protests while being blasted with mace, rubber bullets, and sound cannons. But since that's not happening yet, I thought I would take the time to put together my own video and try to help spread the message. Then I realized how long the process is of making one of these videos, and I gave up. Then I got motivated again when the Senate passed the NDAA freaking 93-7, and Leon Panetta and his globalist goon squad stood up and told Congress that international entities controlled the US military and that they could kiss their gravy-covered buns if they didn't like it. Of course, all the while, the anti-media paraded a video on an old washed-up dictator who killed a few thousand people while the leaders of the government of the same country killed millions. Science! This 4-year path has brought you Zero Inflation, a loving ripoff of Zero Punctuation that is devoted to educating people to the damnation of America that is the Federal Reserve and central banking, exposing the elements of the New World Order, and bringing the beauty of liberty to the people around the world. Rest assured that the battle for the minds of people is as real today as ever. Please spread the word, and if you want more of them, this video. Peace!